So section 4.1 looked at estimating square roots and cube roots. Section 4.2 revisits our number system, our real number system, and just revisits how to plot numbers on a number line. So you have to remember that our number system is divided into two parts, rational numbers and irrational numbers. Section 4.2 looks at irrational numbers and the difference between irrational and rational. And then from section 4.2 on, we deal with rational numbers using square roots and things like that. So remember that our number system is divided into two parts, irrational numbers, excuse me, and rational numbers. A rational number, here's our definition, a rational number is a number that can be written as a fraction with a denominator not equal to 0. Rational numbers have decimal values that either terminate or repeat. So any decimal number that actually stops or repeats can be made into a fraction, and of course a fraction that does not have a denominator of 0. Because as soon as we have a fraction of 0, then we get undefined. Okay, if we try to do that in a calculator. So we can't have a denominator of 0 because we can't divide by 0. Numbers whose decimals don't repeat or don't terminate, and those two terms are key, do not repeat, do not terminate, we call irrational numbers. Okay, and you know a couple, you should know these two right off the top of your head. Pi does not terminate, does not stop, neither does the square root of 2. Another one would be the cube root of 12, but there are many, many more. On your calculator screen, if you don't see the number repeat or you don't see it stop, then you can assume that it goes on forever. So it's just one little extra rule, because after 8 or 9 digits or places, if it's not repeating, it's probably not going to after that. Okay, so we'll use that as our rule. Now remember, so I said our number system is divided up into rational and irrational numbers. In this chart, it's actually missing the rational numbers, irrational numbers I mean. So you should add this part into your chart. So this whole table is our real number system. Our real number system is made up of irrational numbers and these things here, which I'll shade green, these things here, which are our rational numbers. Okay, all of these. And if you remember from the past, many number systems, or many types of numbers, we've talked about before. We have natural numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, things you can count on your fingers and toes. We have whole numbers, which include those natural numbers plus 0. We have integers, which now include our negative values, -1, -2, -3, but not decimals and not fractions, just like full numbers. And then from there we can include the decimals and the fractions, and we call these all now collectively rational numbers. So our rational numbers, our real number system is made up of two parts, irrational numbers and rational numbers. And our rational numbers are made up of another few different parts. We have all those decimals, all those fractions, we have integers, we have whole numbers, and we have natural numbers. So just some terms and information that you need to remember. If you're placing numbers on a number line, well, here's our example. Use a number line to order these numbers from least to greatest. These are the trickiest parts of these questions, making sure you read the question properly and order your numbers properly. So on a number line, put these numbers from least to greatest, which is smallest to biggest. Now it's not expected that you'd be able to look at these as root values, square root of 2, cube root of -2, cube root of 6, and so on, and know what those are and how they fall on the number line. You would actually have to calculate these on your calculator, get a decimal number. So get decimal number from calculator. And then place all of these on the number line. Okay. So let's do that. The square root of 2 on second function square root of 2, 1.41. This will go 1.41. The cube root of -2, 1.26, the cube root of 6, oops, 1.82, the square root of 11, 3.32, the fourth root of 30, 2.34. Now, some of these buttons on your calculators, like fourth root or cube root, you might need to have a little bit of extra instruction on how to find those. So please, please ask, because it's important. So now we see that we have to order these numbers on our number line. What's our lowest value? Well, our lowest value is negative 1.26, and our highest value is 3.32. So our number line, we need to make sure that it goes as high as the number 4 and as low as -2. You want it to be a little bit higher than what you have as your highest value. You want it to be a little bit lower than what you have as your lowest value. And then you plot these numbers on your number line. So the first thing I need to do is get my numbers on my line. I'm going to put 0 here, a little bit to the left, because I only need -1 and -2. And I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And plot the numbers. 1.41 is going to fall between 1 and 2 somewhere, a little bit less than half. So here's half. So I'm going to say 1.41. 1.41. Our second one is -1.26. -1.26 is going to fall somewhere between -1 and -2. Here's -1.5. So -1.26 might be in here somewhere. -1.26. A little bit closer to 1 than 1.5. 1.82 is going to fall between 1 and 2, but above 1.5, somewhere maybe just a bit past it. 1.82. And square root 11 is 3.32. 3.32, and here's 3.5, 3.25, 3.32, right in here somewhere. 3.32. And fourth root of 30 is 2.34. 2.34 is a little bit bigger than half, or a little bit smaller than half, I mean. So right in here somewhere. 2.34. A little bit difficult to follow on that number line. If you have any questions, please ask. So it's anticipated or expected that you have the notes done, ready to go for work in class. If you so choose, you can begin to work ahead. Questions are noted there. We'll see you in class.